this year.
Oh, this year.
Yeah,
Okay.
one with called Turning Point. That was with Todd Bridges and Ernie Hudson, and
Okay.
I played a Nigerian American hustler.
Nice.
That's an interesting role.
So, and then another film called Hilo, in which I played a private investigator. So, so I sort of, vacillate between the two. With theater, I've done Raisin in the Suns. I played Walter Lee Younger there. I've done a lot of world premiere plays, and totally fortuitous. It just seems to happen that I end up getting cast in a lot of world premiere plays, which is nice because you're essentially the first person to play the role. So it's nice to be the first person and not the 1,000th person to play. But it's always a treat when you can do something like August Wilson, or you can do any one of the classics for that matter. And in fact, last year I got a chance to talk to Charles Dutton right after we did the piano lesson, because he was casting a movie in Philadelphia, and I had a meeting with the casting director, who actually has some roots here in Harrisburg. And because of that, she knew about me being in the piano lesson. She said, "Listen, you got to talk to Dutton." So I got a chance to meet with him. Yeah, got a chance to meet with him in Philadelphia, and it's really weird because I'm auditioning for him, but we spent about 10 minutes just talking the piano lesson.
Did you?
And yeah, we were talking Boy Willie, and the thing he wanted to know was our running time. And I said,
What was his?
Believe it or not, 4 hours, he said.
Oh, gee.
Wow.
I said to him, ours was about 320, 325, on most nights. And he just looked at me, he said, that's quite an achievement. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, ours was about 4 hours. But so that was really neat, and it just, to me, it was just like totally serendipitous, because, I mean, he essentially originated the role of Boy Willie. So.
And he originated Levy.
And Levy, exactly.
Yeah,
The character I
role
play now.
Mike's playing now.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
We love Broadway plays. In fact, we just went to see The Mountaintop. And
Oh, that's a nice one, isn't
What'd
it?
you think of it? Yeah, what'd you think?
Very, very thought-provoking. And a number of but powerful.
yeah.
I just
And both
saw
of them
Angela
were excellent.
Bassett just
She blows it out the water.
Yeah, she's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So when you think about movies and you think about Broadway, what would you prefer to do if you had a chance to direct a Broadway play, or to do the smaller theater, or to be in the Broadway play, or be in a movie? What would you prefer to do?
That's tough. I think I grew up always wanting to be a film actor, but my roots are in theater.
Okay.
And I'm a real character-y guy, so I enjoy the process of exploring character and really getting into character, which theater allows you to do.
Yeah.
Film, a lot of times, is so technical that it only allows you to just be. And it's funny, I had this conversation with an actor the other day that, because he was saying, oh, this actor, they're playing the same part, and he was talking of a celebrated film actor, and I said, you have to understand that with the film business, it's really a matter of people wanting to see who that person is. So when you go see a Will Smith or a Denzel Washington, the studios are essentially paying these people to be themselves. So they're not trying to sort of get them outside the envelope, so to speak. Theater, you get a chance to do that a little more. So for me, it's tough. I think theater, I would have to say, is preference just because of the work.
Right.
Now film obviously has its benefits and such, but
Yeah.
What do you think of?
Well, my background is theater, so I just have to say theater.
It's going to be theater. That's right.
And wouldn't it be nice to work on a new play? That would be, I think, the piece. Wouldn't that be nice to do? Have a show on Broadway?
It would be. Because, I'm sitting there watching your plays, and I've been to many of them, as you know, and I think to myself, well, what separates this person that's performing right now in front of me from the person that's on Broadway? And I've been to many Broadway plays we have, and, you say to yourself, yeah, they're excellent. Both are excellent. It's just a matter of what? Of luck, of, positioning or whatever, because you're actors, and what you demand from your people is excellence. I mean, so you don't go to this open stage to see, community theater. You go to open stage to see excellent theater. And I'm thinking, man, this is good stuff, so.
I think a lot of casting deals with connecting. And the production team is connecting. You're going to work with some people you've worked with before, someone you know. And someone you went to school with, and it all goes together. And the shame is there are so many good people that don't get cast. I mean, when you look at the ones who do get cast are fortunate and plus talented. I mean, you've got to be there. And then the ones that can keep working. I think that's the amazing part. Now we don't always, we see the people when they're in the film or they're on Broadway, but really there is a whole theater community, professional community across the United States of nonprofit theaters like Open Stage and larger. I mean, we're just a little tiny speck on that whole large regional theater spectrum. You go down to D.C. and it is Arena Stage. You go to Philly, it's Walnut, it's the Wilma, it's the Philadelphia Theater. We talked about Freedom Theater, and it's huge companies.
No
some
question.
of these.
But Pat and I had a ball once about a few years back. We went to D.C. and we just decided to go to a theater, and it was this theater that had like 3 productions going on at the same time. I mean, this building was just it was incredible. But the play we saw had to do with South Africa. It was a small cast, and the one guy, no matter what he said, spit came out of his mouth. And so we're sitting in the front row. It's like, it is the dude just raining down on you. It's welcome to community theater. It was too funny. Everybody was having a ball with it. We were all falling out laughing. But it was powerful.
It was very powerful.
Very powerful, Doug. What it was. But just the power of community theater. It's just nothing like it, man. So, but you have some productions coming up beyond even, what
We
you
do. Next up is The Diary of Anne Frank. And we've produced that piece for 13 years. And it'll be at Whitaker Center. We produce it for student matinees. The diary itself is in the curriculum throughout the Pennsylvania school system.
Beautiful.
So somewhere around 8th grade, this is studied, whether it is in social studies or whether it's in English class. And what we afford the classes to do is they can come to Open Stage and they can see it come on stage live. And we also round out the whole experience. It's play, and then after the play, we have a Holocaust survivor, Hilda Mandelbacher, who has been with us, working with us from the beginning, who, just absolutely needs to tell her story, and she talks to the students, and that really puts a face on it. I think, it's more reality. And Hilda just wants to tell the story. It's hard for her to tell, but it's something she must do. She said she was sitting home watching television one day, and the revisionists that we have come out, and there was someone on television that said, well, the Holocaust didn't happen.
I know.
We've heard that. And she says, oh, yes, it did. Yes, it did. And so that's what started her saying, I've got to be sure that people understand that this did happen. There's a fellow named Jack Pollock who was with the Anne Frank Museum in New York, and he came down when we first kicked off Anne Frank. And I remember him saying, we have to tell the story as survivors so that we can keep it fresh and that we can keep it true. And so that the story doesn't change. Over the years. So we have to do that ourselves, and we have to do that, with firsthand each to tell our story.
I mean, Nate and I had the opportunity to go to the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C. And I mean, it is truly quite an experience, and you just getting the feel and the sense of all this that took place and happened with them. But it was a little overwhelming in some ways and regards. The
movie Freedom Riders also I thought was very powerful in the way it depicted and brought that whole story into how the kids were relating to their own experience. And that's the beauty of storytelling. That's why I love theater, and because and some people do want to change the story, don't they? It's like
Right.
So we have to be real careful.
We have to be real careful.
Yeah,
that the story's carried forward. And so we really believe that the students should be exposed to this, and some people do not. You know who Anne Frank was?
That's right.
They just
still
I know,
don't
it's amazing.
and that's so.
Now I
think it
understand
helps.
a person very close to you is directing that.
My wife is directing this year. Yeah. This is her second time